Right, so let's start with your introduction. Okay, if you like to introduce yourself about your background, your education, how you got started in quantitative trading, what made you to switch from academia, from heavy research to.
So introduction. So myself, my educational background is I hold a PhD of applied mathematics and I hold an MBA. Yeah. So about how I worked in the finance industry, transferred from academic into finance. It's actually for quant trading or quant job, quant analyst job. Most of the people hold a PhD in computer science or mathematics or physics. So it's actually quite often quite natural to go to quant finance after getting a PhD.
Okay, so was it a deliberate choice that you knew before you started PhD that after finishing my PhD in physics, or you did mathematics, right? After finishing PhD in mathematics, I will go into a career in finance, and in particular quantitative finance. Was that?
No, I didn't know. I didn't think about it. The reason was, I think it's more suitable, more matching to my character because I like objective driven. I love seeing feedbacks. And finance is a kind of industry that we can, especially trading, we can quickly see feedbacks. For academic, I like the research side, but I don't really like the nature that it takes very long time to see the impact. So I like to see the immediate impact. Yeah, that is the reason that was driving me to join quant finance.
Okay. But who did you hear it from? Like, did you hear it from the people that were with you in university, or was it from your professor that you heard about?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, so the first time I heard about quant finance was because the lab I did my PhD is called sorry, mathematical. I don't really know the full name. It's like called lab math. So there are different kind of topics, but we always research on the mathematical modeling applied to different areas. Okay. So there's one team doing particularly quant finance job. So I made friends with some people working in that team, and then I started to understand what it is, and also I learned the option pricing from one of my best friends who was in that team. Yeah.
So that's how you learned quantitative finance, and you made a move from academia to finance, right?
Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah. Before I knew those guys who told me about this quant finance, what it is. I didn't know what it is. I haven't heard about it before that. Yeah.
Okay. I've also worked with a number of people from academia, with PhD in physics or PhD in mathematics, engineering, computer science, working in finance, in risk management, in data science. But I've rarely met people working as a trader, actually, right? But you yourself, a trader, right? So how did you make that move? I mean, how did you get a job as a trader, actually? Or was it your first job as a trader, or how was it like?
So I was FX, so foreign exchange option front office quant analyst or desk strategy analyst. Okay. We do like option pricing, but also option strategies, trading strategies, but we don't trade directly.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing. So how I moved to trading, I would say like for quant trading, the quant research is quite important.
Okay.
So the quant research part is a common thing between what I did and what I'm doing now. So, and for trading, there's something called. So it also depends on different kind of funds, and so there are some funds they define like an execution trader. So who is only executing strategies,
Okay.
or those who do their strategy, their research, and then perhaps they let someone else to execute their strategy, or they execute it themselves. So quant research is quite important for quant trading. That's a skills transferable from what I was working to what I'm doing now.
Okay. And can you talk a bit about your experience when you moved to finance, when you started working for a financial service organization? What was your experience like? Because when I hear this from people from academia, they first start complaining about the industry, the work culture in industry. It's quite different from that in research, right? So how was your experience like?
Change from academic to industry.
Yes.
I think for me it was not a problem because as I said, I'm quite objective driven. So when I was doing academic, so I want to say that I'm doing research and then I deliver something, like not really like industrial product, but something like a model or a methodology, and I want to see the impact. So I think the difference is maybe about the requirements. So the demand is that for industry, we have to deliver things, and those things need to bring impact. Even though sometimes we also do some project or some research that give no results, but we know, okay, so this thing doesn't work. That's also kind of a result. So we know it doesn't work.
Right.
And for academic, I think we also have requirements of maybe publishing papers.
Right.
But it's not so strong, like a deliverable or.
You don't have targets. You don't have targets, right?
Yeah.
Deadline.
We do have target. We do have target,
but no deadline for sure, right?
So what did your friends complain about?
Well, some friends complain about strict deadline, work pressure being more.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I guess so. So maybe
quality of work. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for academic is more flexible and like more artistic kind. I use this word because like you do your research, you do your brainstorming, and then in like living your world about what you do, what you research on. However, when it's in the industry, you need to talk to people, work in a team. So know that that's a team objective. You're working at one part to deliver, and of course, it's not so it's as flexible as doing academic because you need to collaborate with the others. So we together define the deadlines, the schedule.
Okay. So that was the difference. Okay. Let's talk a bit about your work actually. So what exactly do you do? I mean, if you were to tell this to a lay person, what do you do as a quantitative researcher? What exactly is the kind of work that you do?
So I'm a quant trader / quant researcher. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay, maybe a bit of both, right? So you can, tell us about what a quant trader does, what a quant researcher does.
Sure. So I already gave a brief introduction or mentioning about trader, like something definition like execution trader or more close to the quant research world. Mm-hmm. So for the quant, so the life cycle of a quant trading is we generate ideas, and either your own personal ideas or as a team you get some ideas, trading ideas, and then you implement it, you program it, and then you do back testing. And then if you find the performance is good, and then you bring it into production, and then maybe trade with a little bit capital and then scale up. So in the whole life cycle, for the quant researcher, they need to be responsible of generating ideas and then like coding it and then back testing it. So it's a bit, yeah, it's like research work. So you need to bring the ideas, you need to generate the ideas and then bring the idea into production. And then maybe you can execute it yourself or you let someone else to execute it. Yeah, but for the main responsibility of quant researcher is they have to be doing the research of the trading strategies. And then for quant trader, yeah, so quant trader, I think some may define as someone maybe who doesn't need to do research. Yeah, but it can be also quant trader who is doing also the research. And maybe like quant trader can be like someone. Yeah, there's another thing is that in some funds they have the PM, portfolio manager, who manages their own book, and then in some funds maybe that's team now. So that quant trader can also like manage the book, risk manage the book, yeah, watch risk essentially. Yeah. And if the quant trade researcher, perhaps, yeah, it really depends on how each funds define their own titles, but yeah, and the quant researcher maybe they don't need to watch risk. Yeah, so yeah, but generally I already told you about the life cycle of the quant trading strategies. So there need to be someone working on each step, or yeah, all steps, or some of the steps.
Sure. Actually, what exactly do you enjoy in your work? Is it the idea that you generate, the trading strategy, the money that you make, the impact, or it could be all of these, right?
Yeah, I enjoy it very much. It's a kind of a research. It's similar to the academic research that you are researching on something, a question, a complicated system, and there's no obvious questions, answers. I mean, there's no obvious answers, and you research on it and solve the puzzles, try to get something.
Right.
Getting a good strategy. And I also enjoy the money making part because that's like the impact. It's a very direct feedback to how good this strategy is. Yeah, so the performance of it. So I enjoy. Yeah, I enjoy actually still the same thing as what I did when I was doing the academic research on something, a question, and then bring it into, now it's like a production, but before it's like make it a model. Yeah, right. Something. I don't like to do the random research and never reach something. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just like my personal passion is I research on things. So I want to create a product, something, yeah, that can be used or can be shared and can have impact. And then the impact before could be some academic research impact, and now it's this trading strategies impact on trading, on making money, making good P&L.
Okay. So
I enjoy the same kind of logical things.
Then it's the best of both worlds, right? You get to work on research like in academia, but you get paid more than academia, right? So
yeah, I think, I don't know how good the academic is paid now.
Well, what I've heard is that it's not that great. Right?
So yourself you're doing academic
research? I'm in the industry. Yeah, but what I've heard from people is that people have decided to leave academia to join the industry because okay, there are many other reasons, but one of the main reason is to make more money and
Yes.
make quick money. In academia, as in you have to wait for, let's say, 10 years to, become a professor, a full professor, or even longer. Whereas in industry, you can grow really fast.
But do they consider working in some, like the Google or Facebook, those kind of labs?
Yeah.
Then do they consider that's also academic, or they think that's industry?
Well, I think for
Is it
most
like
people,
in
that's still
between?
industry, right?
Okay.
Because you're working for a profit-making company. Universities are not, profit-making companies. They do not have a balance sheet. They're not publicly traded companies
Yeah.
where, right? So in most university, you don't even have a CEO there, unlike in industry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's also, yeah, something good side effect that I got after I joined the finance. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think academic is important. Maybe there could be some way to further improve the ecosystem. So for the academic researchers, they
Yeah.
could,
Right.
make more money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to think about it. I don't have obvious answer
Yeah,
now.
sure. But maybe one more question on your work, actually. So what kind of algorithms do you use? Are these more statistical algorithm or the machine learning AI algorithms? Um, or other kind of algorithms like simulations, Monte Carlo simulations. So can you talk a bit about what sort of algorithms you use in quantitative trading?
So just now you mentioned about Monte Carlo simulation or
Yeah.
machine learning.
Yeah.
So for what I'm doing, or for quant fields, there are two kind of quant fields. One is P quant, one is Q quant. So P is like using P represents probability. So it's like trading strategies are like P quant, or like trading signals strategy side. And then the Q is like option pricing. Yeah, sorry, I need to mention that I'm working on auction only. So
Okay.
for auction, there are like P quant and Q quant, kind of a categorization. And so Monte Carlo simulation is an important pricing method for Q quant area, because they need to price options. And then for pricing, there are also analytics. So some models like Black-Scholes models, or using PD, and then to price different kind of auction products.
Right.
And for trading strategy side, so the P quant side, can be any kind of a method that people think about to create their trading strategies. I know someone who are using also a kind of simulation called agent-based modeling. So they simulate, they simulate the market participant as agent and let them interact, and then simulate the trading environment scenarios, and then use that to predict the market. So that's someone using that. So it can be a lot of different things.
But do you have the flexibility to choose any algorithm, or you do have some restrictions in place as to what you can choose and what you cannot choose? Or is it at the discretion of the trader or the researcher in this case to choose which algorithm he or she wants to use?
That's a very good question. So if it's a trading firm, basically anything you could test, and then you can show the performance to the management level and see if they would like to allocate capital. But it's not so strict on which method, which algorithm you want to use. But if it's investment bank, there could be some constraints, because the audit and the model validation,
the regulations.
They need to understand what model you are using. So before I left banking, I remember the one problem was that they need to understand what your model is. So for machine learning models, it's like a black box. So
Yeah.
it's very hard to explain what's going on there. So that could cause some problem. Yeah. But I don't know how it is done.
So do you have to wait for the validation team to tell you that this algorithm can be used? And only then you go ahead in executing your trade. Does that help? Because it's a time-taking process, right? And
yes,
you would miss the signal, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's a problem of the time cost in the process of working in the banks. But working at the buy side could be less restrictive.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, maybe for our viewers, can you explain what the basic difference between a buy side trading desk and a sell side trading desk?
So sell side is basically sell, buy side is buy. Okay. So that's to avoid the name. So sell side for option. So normally in the banks, but also hedge fund or trading firm, they can also have OTC trading and selling the options, selling the products to their clients. But I think normally we talk about sell side, we talk about those banks. Yeah, even though the buy side, they can also sell things, sell OTC products. Okay. I'm not sure if that's what people think about sell side. When they talk about sell side, they normally perhaps think about banks. So, so for selling options, the importance is about having clients like flow. So clients would like to buy something from you, and then for option also you could price your products. You provide different kind of products meeting the client's needs, and you know how to price it, and you know how to manage the risk. Yeah, so you sell to your clients, and with the fair price that you calculated from your models, and also applying spreads, of course, as well. And then you know how much risk you're taking, and you know how to manage the risk. Okay. And then for buy side, if you trade through the exchange, or for crypto, you can trade through the DEX, so DeFi exchange, or like a DeFi product. For option, there is DeFi option vault. So you buy those kind of options or futures or the financial derivatives or spots from different kind of resources, and
these
you
are
have
hedge
your
funds,
own.
right? Are these all hedge funds or?
Can be hedge fund or trading shop, like prop trading shop. Okay. You can trade with your own money, or you hedge your hedge fund. You manage your clients' money. You charge also management fee. Okay. Question on the work that you do. So what kind of technology stack that you use? What programming languages? What sort of data that you use? What kind of technology that you guys use for trading? Right now. So the IT infrastructure. So there should be a data team or someone who could support data, because data are important for idea generation and for back testing, for validate your strategies. Data team. And also connectivity, because you connect to the exchange, you trade. So your connectivity, you don't want it to be too slow. So there is a separate team doing that. So you as a researcher do not have to do the data collection, the data cleaning and all these things, or do you also do all these things? I don't do that, but perhaps for some trading firms, they have like the quant trading team maybe need to also do everything like data or connectivity. I also have friends who are doing that, but the trading firm I'm working on we have separate teams supporting it.
Okay.
Because we have also different kind of trading assets. So there's a common team supporting all the assets. Yeah, there could be some small trading firms or family office. The quant trader can do also data collection and everything.
So one has to do end to end in those smaller firms. That's what you're saying. But in
I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it depends on how the trading firm want to manage their teams.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So what kind of skill sets are needed actually in your job? As in, beside your research skills, what kind of skills that you expect someone to have when you hire him or her?
Yeah, so that's a very strong technical kind of a job. So normally we require PhD is not necessary. I know that someone who doesn't who doesn't need to hire PhD. I think PhD is always a good plus, but it can be also like master. And then we hire people from mathematics background and computer science, like machine learning, yeah, and also like physics. It's quite popular that the physics PhD join the quant teams. Yeah. And yeah, so the skill sets are like mathematics, programming, and quant finance knowledge, like the option knowledge, and also about market.
One has to have some knowledge of option trading, or option pricing, the quantitative finance in general. Is that a prerequisite? Or
I don't think
most
that
physics people wouldn't know about this. Most physics maths people wouldn't know about this quantitative techniques.
That I agree with you. So I don't think that's a prerequisite. So it's good to know that. Maybe study a bit because before trying to apply for a job. Because if you say I'm interested in joining a quant team, but I know nothing about finance, so I think if they're really super talented, expert on maybe machine learning or some mathematics, can still be hired. But I personally think that if they're really interested, they should already make some efforts on even reading some books. Knowing some knowledge.
What sort of questions are asked? Like what sort of questions are asked? I've gone through some of the questions on the internet. Very popular quant trading firms such as Gen Street. These firms ask very technical questions, mathematical questions on probability, on statistics. So what's been your experience? What kind of questions you have faced in interviews, and what kind of questions sort of you ask when you hire people?
Yeah, so so just like read some books like Heard on the Street, those kind of books that give a good idea about what kinds of questions are there. So yeah, exactly, like option questions and mathematical questions, and also brain teasers or some soft skill questions. Yeah, so all of them are summarized in the books, like Heard on the Street.
What exactly is the name of the book? Sorry.
Heard on the Street. Heard on the Street.
Oh, Heard on the Street.
It's quite an old book, but maybe people stop asking exactly the same questions. But it gives a good idea about what kind of questions, what kind of knowledge can be relevant.
Yeah, but do you think that some online courses on quantitative finance would help someone? Courses like you have CQF in London, right? You have CQF, Certified Quantitative Finance, or there are also many online courses on Coursera these days, on Udemy. Do you think these courses would help someone?
I think I haven't taken those courses, but I think why not? So in the old days people read books, but now they're
Videos.
They're like more advanced than media type of education, so it can be more fun and more efficient. So why not? So maybe do like Coursera, some quant finance course.
Right. Okay, good. So you have worked in banks, and you also work for non-banking corporations, right? Which one did you enjoy the most, and what are some of the differences that you like to highlight?
For the banks and the non-banks,
yes,
I enjoy both. So from banks, the process, you sometimes think maybe there are too many process, but I think it's interesting to understand what process are there and why that exists. So to think about it and to know what it is also interesting. So so for banks, it's so the brand of the banks are important. So there are more compliance stuff. And
regulations out there.
More regulations, more compliance stuff. And for non-banks, like trading firm I'm working currently, it's and also it has smaller size. So previously the bank is like a huge company, multinational company. Now it's the trading firm is also multinational, but it has smaller size. So my feeling is like before, maybe I work on more specific things. Feel like a small part of the whole team. So I need to focus on the small tasks and then work together to deliver. And now I can work on like take more ownership, take more responsibilities.
Okay.
It's also a difference of maybe a big firm and a small firm.
Indeed. Right. In banks, you have so many people out there, so big teams, right? I can imagine. But in terms of compensation, right? I don't know, it's a sensitive topic actually, but would you like to disclose as to whether banks pay more or the trading firms, how the pay structure is like?
I think it can depend on banks or and there are some websites that disclose some numbers of different banks, different hedge fund or trading firms. I think that maybe the pay could be related. My personal idea is that maybe the payment can be related to the risk that's being taken. So perhaps like in the banks, that it maybe take less risk. And then the pay is binded to the risk it's taken. So if it takes higher risk, then get paid more, maybe get paid less. So fired next year. So it's like anything in the financial market, I think. Like more
risk return trade-off, right?
The
risk return trade-off. You take more risk, you expect more return. But also the other way around, right? Okay, that's good to know. I was talking to a crypto trading quant a couple of months back. He also worked, still working in London for a crypto trading firm, and he was with a quant consulting firm before that. And he was telling me that one thing that he really enjoyed in working in a trading firm is that the money that he's making. But he's also, he told me that the job security is actually much less. You could also lose your job anytime. Do you agree with that?
So agree with like
whether the job security is less, about security about your job, like because we have seen many trading firms going bankrupt in the past, LTCM, for example, is one, famous example. 20 years back, it went bankrupt. So do you think that quant trading job in a trading firm is a stable job, or is it less stable compared to a quant job in a big bank?
But I don't think that's because it's a bank or it's a fund or trading shop. It's because it's how big, how well established that company is.
Okay.
There are some very well established hedge funds
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I don't think will be easily bankrupted.
Right. Like Jane Street or Two Sigma, these sort of companies, right? Do you mean
Yeah,
quite long history of,
yeah.
right? Yeah. And yeah, good to know. Maybe a few more questions like, okay, what sort of advice you would like to give to someone who is interested in starting a career in quantitative trading? He's doing his master's in physics or maths, or that kind of a quantitative academic area, or is doing PhD right now. What are your suggestions as to how he or she can prepare him or herself um, to get his or first job? Because I think getting the first job is very important, right? Um, and then obviously you can take it from there. You can find other employers, but how does one get the first job actually?
There are many programs that, yeah, like graduate program, internship program, so they could apply.
Mhm.
Yeah, they could apply early before they graduate. They could do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and as of advice, I think it's my way of making decisions, my way of doing things. I always spend a lot of time to understand what it is and then think about if that could be something I like. Yeah, because for them, if they just want to join it because they think it has good salaries, but maybe that's not something their character would fit. They enjoy doing that. They have passion. Then that would be also a disaster. However much money they make. So
Right.
I think everybody should choose something they have a real passion on. And yeah, so maybe spend time on understanding, talking to people working already in the industry, in understanding how the work is, what they do, and then yeah, make the decision if they really like it. And if they really like it, and then make efforts on yeah, all kind of efforts like applying to the graduate program.
Mhm.
And if they don't have quant finance knowledge, read some books, or maybe as you said, can learn from, do some online learning from Coursera, etc. Yeah, and also be resilient. Maybe they are rejected by 10 firms.
Sometimes, yeah.
They could try the 11th.
Yeah. What about other skills, right? The more soft skills. Uh, what kind of soft skills are needed in these jobs?
I think my personal opinion, I think communication is important. So there could be some lonely academic
Yeah.
researchers
Yeah.
staying in the room and then doing
Working in silo.
yeah, and then before working in a team, I think it could be rather the advice, softer skills for working in a team. So working in a team, you're a team delivering things. So communicate with people about update things. Because I have an experience working with some fresh graduate who don't give update.
Mhm. Don't give
Yeah.
update.
Huh?
What did
Sorry?
you say? What did you say?
I said, like they don't like giving updates.
Oh, they don't like giving updates.
They don't like giving updates because imagine working in team.
Yeah.
You should make the others be aware of
What
what you
you're
are doing, your
doing. Right.
progress. And
Right.
somebody just keep doing things for maybe 1 week, and even we have already agreed about some regular update,
Right.
maybe every 3 days or every 1 week. but then somehow they think, oh, it's not important. The most important thing is that I bring up a great idea, fantastic idea, and shocking everyone. But the process is also important. You work in a team. So you can be a genius, but you still work in a team to deliver. So you make people be aware of what you do. So update your work, what results you get, and also what difficulties you get. Oh, it can be something also interesting for fresh graduates. They are afraid of sharing with the difficulties they met with the others. They don't someone like they don't want people to think they meet difficulties. There's something they don't know, but it's very normal. They don't know something, so ask questions. Say what difficulties you have, and then maybe the more senior guys have advice on how to improve it. It's more efficient than they stay on their own for 3 days trying to solve things. Yeah, could get some quick advice and quick solutions.
Okay, good. Maybe a few more questions. One is what I've heard from people is that this career in quantitative finance, it's not a very long-term career, as in you do it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you hit a glass ceiling. You don't grow after that. But are there careers that you can move to after having done quantitative trading or working in quantitative finance for a while?
You mean like trading is too stressful?
Yeah, it could be stressful. It could be stress. It could be stress, or it could be like, okay, you do it when you're in 20s or in your early 30s, but once you become 40, probably you will not want to work as a quant trader. You may not have that interest and energy and the ability to take stress. So what's been your experience? Do you still enjoy working as a quant trader? I think it's been many years, right? You have been working, so I just want to know
I enjoy doing it, but I think if I know someone who are definitely above 40 and then or 50 still doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, could be a PM managing their portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think if somebody feel they want to change, I also know someone who have spending most of his career working on quant finance, and then when they are maybe like mid 40 something, they want to change to work on something else because maybe they think, oh, finance is not really adding values. So besides, I would say like finance, it adds value, but somebody could say they want to work on something creating more values. Yeah, I see what you mean. I also heard about it, and I saw someone, and quite often working on quant finance, people are PhD, doing research during their PhD study on different kind of fields. So we had the dream of doing some academic research, changing the world.
Move back to academia.
We were young.
After making a lot of money.
Yeah, and then when we work 10 years in finance, maybe that's quite far from what we were dreaming when we were doing PhD study. So maybe they want to go back doing something else. Yeah, I saw people doing that. Yeah, it's understandable. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
all possible. I see people staying there for the whole career, and I see people changing at 40. Yeah.
Right. Maybe one last question, which is, I think, are you from the UK? I assume that you're not from the UK, right? So how did you manage to get a job in London? I saw your profile. I think you did a PhD in France, and then you got a job in London. Because I have friends back in India, their PhD in physics and such quantitative areas. I also know some friends who have been working as quant for quite some years in banks, but they're a bit clueless as to how to get a job in a financial center, like in Singapore or in London or in Hong Kong. So how did you manage to get a get a job in London, get sponsored, you need a visa there also. I don't know your citizenship, but most people would need a visa to work in London.
I think your friend could apply for the graduate program and see they would like to sponsor the visa. I agree that perhaps it's easier if the firms, even especially some smaller funds or trading shops, they prefer people that they don't need to sponsor the visa.
Okay.
But I think for big banks, they don't really mind sponsoring visa.
Okay.
Could be, yeah, either, yeah, maybe try to find a job in investment bank and see if they can sponsor the visa, or like a big hedge funds, or yeah.
Okay. So
I don't think like sponsoring the visa is a big problem. Yeah, but for this, I don't really know. Perhaps asking someone who is a HR of this
right.
financial institution, so they know better.
Yeah. So when you moved from France to London, did you not need a visa or?
I need the sponsorship of visa, but I think most of the banks just don't really mind sponsoring visa. It's not a problem for them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I personally think it's not a problem. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
But I don't know how it works that for people out of the Europe or UK. Yeah, really need to ask some HR to get more information. I don't want to give false information. Yeah, I think it's not a problem. They can sponsor maybe people from India or some other countries. Yeah, but I can't. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Maybe one last question, and then we can wrap up the interview, which is that there's many people actually working in risk management, in credit risk management, in market risk management, operational risk management, these areas where you don't necessarily work on trading models, but you still build models, right? You build still like some form of models, like whether it's value at risk models in market risk or in PD, LGD, EAD models in credit risk. Do you think that these people, if they want to move to quantitative trading, if they aspire to work for a proprietary hedge fund or any trading fund, can they actually move to those firms? Or what are the challenges that one could face?
I think anything is possible. If people find out they like it and they want to try it, they should definitely make efforts.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anything is possible. They may challenge. Okay, so you don't, maybe your past experience are not really accounted as the relevant experience.
Right.
That's possible. Or maybe they can think you do have the modeling knowledge that's transferable. Yeah, so think about what can be transferred and then show your strengths.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think anything is possible. Even nothing is transferable, and no working experience is relevant.
Yeah.
If they really want to do it, they should still try and make efforts improving your situations, be closer to the target, and also be resilient. Just being rejected once doesn't mean you're rejected second time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's these are the questions I had. So nice talking to you. Thanks for making time for it. I really had a good time talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me to this.